video is on Eastern Coltsfoot. The Latin name is Tussilago farfara. I'm not saying that again. Common names are coughwort, horsehoof, and foalsfoot. It gets to be about 12 inches tall. It's perennial. The stems have purple scales and are heart-shaped. Interesting. The flowers are yellow. Looks a bit like a dandelion, but it can be determined to not be a dandelion by looking at the leaves. You gather the flowers of this in the winter and the leaves in the summer, which is way different than dandelion. The flowers develop before the leaves do. The Latin name for this is the son before the father. Because it's backwards in how it develops. Interesting. The leaves are described as hoof-shaped or heart-shaped. And it's not picky about how it grows. You only use the dried flower and leaf of this plant. It's got a very slight smell, which isn't very descriptive, I know. I'm not good at describing smells. I have allergies, so my smeller doesn't work very well. The flavor was sweet to me. So it's got the flavonoids of camphorol and quercetin and their glycosides. There are alkaloids in there. Caffeic acid, ferulic acid, gallic acid, p-hydrobenzoic acid, and tannic acid. Wow. Carbohydrates of mucilage and inulin, tannins, choline, paraffin, phytosterols, tritropine, tussilagon. There's volatile oil in there. A lot of plants are going to have volatile oil, and basically what that means is the oil is easily destroyed. And that's important to know, especially for aromatherapists if they're trying to distill oils, because if it's volatile, you better make sure you do it right. Okay, let's see what else do we have here. Zinc. Also of interest, some herbalists use essential oil and volatile oil interchangeably, and they should not be. Volatile oil means it can be destroyed easily. Okay? All plants have essential oils in them of some sort. You can pull oil out of all plants. If it's a volatile oil, it can be easily destroyed. Usually through the heating method or by using too high of a percentage of alcohol. Okay, the leaves have mucin, tannin, glycosyl bitter principle, inulin, cytosterol, and zinc. And did we already say vitamin C? I don't think so. Okay, therapeutic actions: antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, expectorant, antitussive. The name says it's antitussive, antispasmodic, demulcent, anticatarrhal, and diuretic. Immunostimulant as well. Primarily used for acute respiratory tract mucous membrane inflammation. So basically coughing, hoarseness, bronchitis, laryngitis, asthma. This is one you don't see very often word-wise. Pharyngeal mucosa. Interesting way to put that. So, pertussis, whooping cough, sore throat, emphysema. Basically, if it's a respiratory condition, give it a try. Externally for boils, abscesses, and supporting ulcers. Okay, this stuff has been being used for coughs and breathing easier for at least 2,500 years. Yeah, thought you might want to know that. Okay. Yeah, the tincture is at 40%, so they're not too worried about destroying the volatile oils. But I wouldn't go more than 40% alcohol. So you could use vodka if you wanted to. Ratio is 1 to 5, if you want to know that. For the tea, 1 to 2 teaspoons of the herb steeped for 10 minutes in 1 cup boiling water. Drink 3 times a day, as hot as possible. Okay, safety on this, do not exceed 4 to 6 weeks usage. The unsaturated pyrrolizidine alkaloids are hepatotoxic and hepacarcinogenic, and may also be mutagenic. Do not combine with hypotensive herbs. Do not combine with antiplatelet herbs. Okay, on the safety list, it's listed as a class 2B, 2C, and 2D, which I did not write down here what that means. I guess I assumed I'd always have the chart handy to refer back to it to remind myself. Okay, the FDA says this herb needs the following label. For external use only, do not apply to broken or abrased skin. Do not use when nursing. Probably because they're afraid people are going to abuse it, which would make sense. Look what happened to, ephedrine, right? The plant ephedra is illegal to be grown in the United States. Illegal to be used as an herb because somebody decided they were going to make it into a drug and snort it up their nose. Super potent, super healthy, super effective medication. And somebody had to go and blow it for everybody. So I would say you can use it as long as you are following the safety protocols. Do not exceed, I would say 4 weeks. Just drop off that 6. Just don't exceed 4 weeks. If you're using it as a cold anyway, you shouldn't need it more than 4 weeks. Okay. Hoffman, he's one of the founders of the American Herbalist Guild, by the way. So, good dude. He agrees with the precautions, but says as long as you're using it as directed, you're going to be fine. Just make sure you use it on a limited period. The book I refer to for using herbs with children says if the child has heart or blood pressure problems, do not give this to them. And another person says not to use the flowers at all and just to use the leaves. And not to give it to children under 6. Which I think probably in today's day and age that would be a pretty big precaution because of what we're doing to our kids these days. And this one says do not use while pregnant or breastfeeding. But that's not what all the other people were saying in terms of limitations. Do not use when nursing. I might be able to see the nursing thing. I don't know. If you're only using it because you've got bronchitis, you're only going to be using it a week anyway. So I can see why they would say that if you're using it the way you're supposed to be using it, it's not a concern. If you need cough medicine for more than 4 weeks, then you need to go see the doctor and find out what's wrong with you, because it's not a cold. Okay. So I used 60% alcohol for a tincture with this, with 24 grams of herb. Ratio of 1 to 10, because there was 2 different directions. One was 40% and the other was 60%. 40 probably would have been correct. Okay, so I went 1 to 10 ratio because the herb was not fully wet with a ratio of 1 to 5. So I had to double how much liquid I had in there. I had 150 milliliters yield, and it's a very dark green. Like it actually looks black. Yeah. So I say you can use it safely as long as you actually follow the instructions from responsible herbalists, right? Not those crazy people that are out there, hey, I got my education out of Cracker Jack box and I'm going to teach you without knowing all the safety measures. Yeah. But at least I've given you those safety measures, so now you understand the reasons behind limited use and harping in on that. You don't want to cause your body any additional damage, right? You're trying to heal yourself. So only use it when you absolutely have to. All right? Thank you for watching.